Head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one about the whole Deshaun Watson trade.
Hey guys, how's it going? I've been watching you guys consistently for a while, but I have a few questions I want to ask. My first is, why does the NFL not warn the Browns that they are going to try and get Watson indefinitely suspended before the trade went down? It doesn't make any sense to me. My second problem with this is that the NFL judge and NFLPA aren't being respectful to the Browns. This is dragging on too long, and they need to hurry up and get his decision so the Browns can figure out who the quarterback's going to be. I mean, it's not right that right before the season starts, they just lay down an indefinite suspension, and then we're out here looking for options at the last minute. I don't think that's right. And my last thing is, would a one-year suspension affect the Browns or Watson more? I feel that Watson would be way more not affected. The Browns would be more affected because we would be losing our starting quarterback, and Watson would be getting still paid. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. It just wastes the season. He still gets paid, so in the end it just screws us over more. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for taking time to listen to my explanation of all this, and yeah, thanks. Bye, guys.
All right, as always, we appreciate all of the voicemails. Scott, so as far as the trade goes, it's kind of buyer beware. That was looming. The 1 year, it doesn't really, everything is toll. So the contract is still 5 years. It just starts next year instead of this year. And right now, the NFL, one, wants to get the suspension fair or right. And they're not concerned about how inconvenient it is for the Browns to not know who their quarterback is.
Yeah, I do think there's recognition of it within the league that sooner the better. But, Sue Robinson's an independent arbitrator, so she's not tied to the league in that sense. It took the league however long it took the league to investigate. And the reality is there continued to be new information to investigate up until recently. So I think that delayed the completion of the NFL's investigation. And, to go back to but it is tough for the Browns. There's no argument there at all. I'm sure Andrew Bear and Kevin Stefanski did not enjoy this break, right? The break from minicamp to training camp that usually you can kind of regroup. I'm sure it was spent a lot worrying about Deshaun Watson in the quarterback situation because it's so important, in the fact that it could drag into the days before training camp. It already has. It's difficult for this team. There's no doubt about it, especially when they'll likely have to make a move at quarterback, depending on how long, if there's a suspension and the length of the suspension. I also think, going back to the caller's first point, I believe the Browns felt like it wasn't going to be a lengthy suspension when they made the trade. But like I said, more information has come out since. There's been more public interviews. We had the New York Times report, and I think those things, at least from a perception standpoint, made the sense that the league wanted to lengthen the suspension than maybe it originally thought in March.
Yeah, and the other thing is from the Browns' perspective, they want to get through this because at the other end of it, they feel like they have a franchise quarterback that they've been looking for since they've come back to the NFL.
That's a great point. And if you ask Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Bear in an honest moment, they might say that they still would have done this even if Deshaun Watson were suspended for all of 2022. I don't know that answer, but the importance of a franchise quarterback cannot be overstated, and we saw that in the trade and the contract that they paid him.
Yeah, I agree. You either have one or you're always looking for one. There is nothing else in the NFL as far as a franchise quarterback goes.